from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Good morning, I'm Devin Fehely.
And I'm Melissa Kane. Let's start off our morning with a check on our forecast with Julie Watts. We're forecasting some big changes. In fact, I don't even need to forecast. Look outside and you can see the changes are here. So this is a look from our Salesforce camera, and you can see Sutro Tower off in the distance, surrounded by that marine layer. Let's take a little Salesforce Tower tour, shall we? Here's another perspective looking off towards the west. Fog has definitely blanketed the bay this morning. Elsewhere, you can't see the city. It is completely covered in fog. And yes, that marine layer extending across the city. But now, take a look at this. Here we are with our Dublin camera, clear blue skies. This is sort of a good indicator of what you can expect today. Cooling beginning along the coast and around the bay. Much warmer temperatures inland. Temperatures starting out today still in the 60s for some of the hot spots. Concord, Livermore, 60 in San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland in the mid-50s. Santa Rosa right now at 53. We're going to see those clouds along the coast and by the bay, but sunny as you make your way inland. Still seeing temperatures in the low 90s today. That marine layer does beef up. It just doesn't make it very far inland. So it's going to trigger the onshore flow. We're going to see a bit more of that marine influence. Cooling first along the coast. Still, though, have a red flag warning in effect. Keep in mind, it was supposed to expire last night. They've now extended it until 3 p.m. today. Now, this is just for the higher elevations of Napa and East Sonoma counties. We're still, though, going to see gusty winds, low humidity. And I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a bit. We'll talk about the high temperatures today where you live and what to expect for the 4th of July holiday. Back over to you.
Crews continue to battle wildfires in Northern California. The county fire began yesterday in Yolo County, north of Cache Creek Casino. There are new concerns about the week-old Pawnee fire in Lake County, which has burned more than 14,000 acres northeast of Clear Lake Oaks. A flare-up from that fire prompted mandatory evacuations yesterday in the Double Eagle Ranch subdivision. It's 73% contained. Both fires have been sending thick smoke into parts of the Bay Area, including Alameda, San Mateo, Contra Costa, Marin, and Sonoma counties. This video is from Sonoma County yesterday. The California Highway Patrol supplied this video from one of its choppers, which was used to look for evacuees in Yolo County. That's where the county fire, initially known as the Gonita Fire, has burned more than 8,000 acres. Mandatory evacuations are in effect for areas in the fire's potential path, and people who live near that fire had to quickly set priorities.
You know, our main focus was getting horses and livestock out, and well, pretty much just trying to get all of our friends and stuff out.
Just sprinkling a little here, I don't know. I'll have to depend on the fire department.
Firefighters' efforts have been hampered by high temperatures, gusting winds, and low humidity. Because of those conditions, CAL FIRE is strongly urging people to avoid setting off illegal fireworks as the 4th of July approaches. Now, another quick note, the Valley Fire, which burned more than 268 acres in Concord last week, is now fully contained.
And San Francisco police are investigating a shooting in the Mission District that left one person dead and 2 others injured. SFPD says it happened just before 9 o'clock last night on Mission Street. Responding officers found 3 people suffering from gunshot wounds. One of the victims died from their injuries at the scene. The 2 other victims were taken to the hospital. There was no immediate word on the suspects, who remain at large.
Today is July 1st, the start of the second half of 2018, and some local workers are getting pay raises. A new $15 an hour minimum wage begins today in Emeryville and San Francisco. Some small businesses say the increased labor costs will be tough, but advocates for higher minimum wages say it's necessary for low-wage employees to live here in the high-priced Bay Area.
Those folks really haven't felt the benefits of the economy, people who are making minimum wage or low wages.
Several other Bay Area cities have been gradually raising their minimum wages higher than California's standard. The statewide minimum wage is not scheduled to reach $15 an hour until 2023. Also today, higher tariffs take effect in Canada for many products imported from here in the U.S. The increases are in response to higher tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum imposed last month by President Trump. Canada's tariff increases are expected to affect more than $14 billion worth of U.S. imports, including items like ketchup, toilet paper, lawnmowers, motorboats, and whiskey. California begins new regulations for the upstart marijuana industry. As a result, some of those businesses may be in short supply. The state is beginning a new testing, packaging, and labeling requirements. Packaging will have to include warning labels and ingredient lists. Now, starting today, products that don't meet that state law cannot be legally sold.
So we knew this day was coming, but we're always trying to catch up with what the new regulations are.
State and local lawmakers have been scrambling to regulate recreational marijuana since it became legal under California law at the start of the year. The city of El Cerrito may get its first marijuana dispensary. There's a proposal to open a 4,100 square foot facility at Bishop Center on San Pablo Avenue at the north end of the city. The operators would contribute 5% of the gross revenue to the city. The public has until Tuesday to submit written comments before a final decision is made.
And Oakland leaders are warning drivers about what they're calling the summer of paving. Now, city officials want to repave more miles this summer than they have in recent years. And first up is East 16th Street and 37th Avenue. Now, this campaign is set to fix just 25 miles of the 800 miles of Oakland roads. The crews are able to ramp up their work thanks to funding from Measure KK and the state's gas tax.
One of the common threads that Oaklanders have from the North Hills to deep East Oakland is that they're frustrated in the condition of their roads.
Now, the goal is to have the work done before the winter months.
Free agency has officially begun in the NBA and some major deals in the Western Conference already. It looks like Chris Paul is headed back to Houston. Paul George will stay in Oklahoma City, and Kevin Durant will seek his third NBA championship with the Warriors. According to multiple reports, Durant has agreed to a one-year deal with a player option for 2019. It will pay KD $30 million over the next 2 years. The shorter length deal saves Golden State around $20 million in the luxury tax. To baseball, the Giants happy to be playing indoors on a 100-degree day in Phoenix. Top of the fourth, Andrew McCutchen goes opposite field for his 9th home run of the year. McCutchen was 3 for 5 in the game, and the Giants win 7-0. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. 1989 World Series MVP Dave Stewart throwing out the first pitch at the A's-Indians game. Bottom of the 8th, Matt Olson connects for his 18th long ball of the year. Oakland wins their 6th straight final of 7-2. The Earthquakes facing their rival LA Galaxy at Stanford Stadium. 69th minute, San Jose's Chris Wondolowski ties the game with his second goal of the night. Wando is now just 6 goals behind Landon Donovan for the most goals in MLS history. The match ends, though, in a 3-3 draw. And talk about some young arms. Derek Holland will be on the mound for the Giants today, and Frankie Montas will be pitching in Oakland. Andrea Nakano, KPIX Sports.